And then also, it's been interesting to see how our family has taken to all of this. People around me when I go out in public and stuff are like, oh, let me help you, especially if I'm in the airports carrying my backpack with 20 pounds of weight in it and all this. And they're like, can we help you? Can we help you? And I'm like, no, really, I can do it. It's good for me. It's really good practice for me and to make me stronger all the time. And my family is just so used to me, they can just say, nope, you got it. Don't worry about her. She's good. You don't need to help her. She can do whatever she needs to do. And so God has just taught us so many lessons over the last 2 years now. And it just seems like for me it happened a long time ago. It seems like I've had a lot of time since then, and God's brought about different people for me to encourage other amputees and just people that have been very ill and can relate and understand with what I've gone through, and maybe I know what they're about to go through and I can be an encouragement to them. And so I'm just so excited to have been able to come and share with you all. And I know last year when I was here, I was in the wheelchair, and I told you all that I would come back and I would be walking in when I came back. And so here I am today to be able to walk in and to show you what God's done through your prayers over the last year since we've been here. And I thank you so much for allowing me to come today and share with you. Thank you.
Couple of questions before she goes to sit down. Most of us in this room are not going to face the things that she and Josh have faced in the last year. I mean, thank the Lord we're not. But some of us are, and some of us will, and we'll face other things that are going to be equally as challenging. And one of the things that's common to all of us when something of this magnitude hits is bitterness. Bitter at God because this happened to me. Bitter because this happened to my wife, bitter because this happened to my son, bitter because this happened to whoever. And my question that I wanted you to answer is, how have you dealt with bitterness? And how have you come to grips with bitterness?
Definitely I was at the beginning. I was not. I guess it was still surreal like I had said, but last fall and last winter, I really dealt with why did you pick me? Why did I have to be the one that you chose? And I don't know, I just did a lot of praying and a lot of reading my Bible and searching, and God just gave me the peace and the comfort that this was in His plan and this is in His purpose for my life, and that I just am kind of a vessel and I just go along. I don't really know what the future, none of us know what the future holds, but I'm just holding on to Him and going for the ride.
Susan, one of the things that people who have talked to me after your presentation last year was the joy, was the peace, and the serenity that you have and that you exude as you go through life. You're not angry. You're not waiting for people to wait on you. And how has that joy or that peace or that serenity been a part of who you are?
Well, I have to say, before I lost my legs, I was a very bubbly, outgoing person. So it took me a little while to get back to it. I didn't know if I would ever be the same. Obviously, I'm a totally different person now. And I was really scared that my personality would not ever really come back out with that. But it has over the last year. I guess it's just, to me, I don't think of it as, woe is me, this is what's happened to me, and have a pity party. I'm just excited to see what God's doing and to meet different people that I never would have met before and get to encourage them and talk to them. And it's encouraging to me as well.
Susan, one last thing. Mm-hmm. When you look at this experience that you've had in the last 2 years, how have you seen God's hand in all of this, and how God has walked with you from that first diagnosis, those 3 months in the hospital, coming home and going through all the mess with the insurance company? How have you seen God's hand with you in that whole process?
Well, it's amazing. Obviously we always think this is the way it's going to be, this is what's going to happen, and it's been radically different from the way I've pictured it and beyond words can express. The verse in the Bible that talks about that God gives us beyond what we can think or imagine, it's so true. I mean, I had no idea what all of this had started, what process we were going to go through, but it's been above and beyond and more exciting and just so awesome to be a part of and to see His power and to work things out and to look back now and we can say, wow, you just know that it's God. And even in a situation where I'll be somewhere or travel somewhere or meet someone, and even right then I can say, wow, God is so in the middle of this and touching this and bringing it all together for His purpose. It's amazing.
And this is really my last thing. For the person sitting out here right now that is going through a very difficult time, that's going through, they may be struggling with something physically or financially, emotionally, whatever, what would you say to that person who feels the weight of the world on them right now? What word from the Lord would you give them to encourage them today?
Well, I know it was really hard. I remember being in that mindset and feeling so heavy, and that there was a burden that I couldn't handle. I couldn't lift it off myself, that I just dove into my Bible, and I would just write in my prayer journal. I would write scriptures over and over and over and just keep myself in that, even though in my mind I was reluctant to want to keep doing it. I wanted to back off. I wanted to not have anything to do with it. But I knew that if I just stayed in it and I was faithful, God would provide, and He would come through and bring me through it and strengthen me and encourage me. And He did. And if you're going through something today, or you will be in the future, just keep that in your mind, that no matter how bad you fleshly want to give up and be done, don't. Persevere. Keep praying, even if you don't want to or don't feel like it's going to help. It will. God will answer in His timing, not ours.